What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to Manchester City's first loss in the Premier League as we lost away to AFC Bournemouth by 2-1. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and also don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you make of the performance? What do you think Manchester City could have done a little bit differently? What was to blame for the loss and going forward into Sporting? What do you think would change, and what do you think City need to do just to ensure that this doesn't spiral into a little bad spell? Because I really feel like, and we had this exact same situation at the end of September into early October of last season, the same situation that we find ourselves in. You go into the EFL Cup, we've got a game that we don't really want to play, so we want to go out, so we do go out. You lose one game, you end up with injuries, and all of a sudden a couple of difficult games after the EFL Cup games, and Manchester City really struggle. It is literally just right now carbon copy of exactly what happened last season, just a little earlier in the season than what we're having right now. And it's a little bad spell. One loss becomes two. We've got Sporting CP, very tight turnaround, still not got loads of players available because they're out injured, so we've got to go to Portugal and play them, Sporting CP that is, on Tuesday night. Got no real rest before we come back, and we're playing again on Saturday on the South Coast again against Brighton, who are decent teams. Could be a difficult away game, and these away games are really adding up for Manchester City, and the squad being stretched as thin as it can go is just not getting any easier. And this game was so important. To me, it was a must-win game. Try and keep Liverpool at bay, try and keep Arsenal at bay, try and keep everybody else at bay, and they've not managed to do so. I don't know whether Man City have just maybe relaxed a little too much. We knew that Arsenal had lost going into this game, so we knew there was no pressure on us from that game. But to me, Arsenal aren't the team that I'm worried about at the top of the Premier League right now. Arsenal aren't the team sitting in first. Arsenal aren't the team that we're playing very soon. It's Liverpool. Liverpool are the team that are causing me concern. They're not playing amazing football, but they're winning football games. And the first, they've got 2 points on us, and they've got a superior goal difference. And they're not having an injury crisis. And we've got to face them on the 1st of December. And we've got to face them at Anfield, not at the Etihad. So we've got to really negotiate this tough, tricky little spell that we've got. And we've got to try and pick ourselves up and start pushing towards trying to win games. Now, there was, believe it or not, guys, some positives that I took away from this game. How good did Manchester City look when they wanted to attack, and we actually had runners in attack and in midfield. Fresh legs of Rico Lewis and Jeremy Doku very near changed the complex of this game. It caused Bournemouth so many problems. It forced them onto the back foot. We struggled for 80 minutes to get Bournemouth onto the back foot. For 80 minutes, Bournemouth have showcased what I've been trying to tell a lot of other Premier League teams' fans, that you can play football against Man City, believe it or not. Go toe for toe with us and beat us. Everyone seems to think that you've got to park the bus against Man City to stand a chance of getting a result against us. And if you're going to sit and stand for 90 minutes in the hope that Man City have an off day in front of goal, you're going to find it very difficult. And how Bournemouth played was, we're going to take the game to you and we're going to push hard. First 20 minutes, try and grab a goal and go ahead. Ipswich tried it, Brentford tried it, Bournemouth have tried it, and it's paid dividends for them. Wolves, when they went ahead against us, decided to park the bus and try and defend the game. Whereas Bournemouth didn't really need to. It was a poor performance from City, granted, but it was also a very good performance from Bournemouth. And in the post-production after this game, I'm not hearing enough credit being given to AFC Bournemouth in how they approached and had a pop at Manchester City, because they never really stopped pushing to try and grab that second goal. You need that second goal against Manchester City. if you want to beat us, and they managed to do so. And with the off day that was having in front of goal, and I said it on my live stream, once it went 2-0 Bournemouth, I felt like the game was done and dusted, because I just didn't feel like City were offering enough in attack in this game. The players looked so lethargic and tired. Bernardo and Gundogan, everything was so slow. It wasn't gelling, it wasn't sticking, it wasn't working. And I wanted Pep to change it much sooner than he did. I feel like chucking Jeremy Doku on 10 minutes earlier, we might have come away with a result today. We might not have lost this game. I'm not saying we would have won this game, but I don't think we'd have lost this game. It made a real difference for Manchester City. Once he came on, there was a big pick-me-up in the team. It helped that we managed to get a goal to get back into the game with a good header from Josko Gvardiol, but I just felt like there was something there. Obviously, Erling Haaland hit the post and we're left thinking what could have been, but to me, I thought for Bournemouth not to win this game, I think would have taken away from all of their hard work. I thought, to me, on reflection into the game with how City played and how Bournemouth played, I thought Bournemouth deserved to win this game more so than what Manchester City deserved to win this game. So, to me, they deserve the 3 points, and Manchester City don't deserve to come away from the South Coast with anything, because we just didn't play good enough. And I want to see fresh legs coming in. I said in my live stream, I'm going to repeat it again, you've got high quality young players on the bench who are good enough. If you're good enough to be around the City squad, you're good enough to be starting. I would rather have a midfield made up of youngsters doing loads of leg work and running, and they've got a point to prove, trying hard, trying to make something happen. Might not work, but I can forgive it because they're young players who are developing and learning. At the moment, you've got experienced players going into the latter parts of their career, who at the moment just isn't working. We're not finding the form, we're not doing what we need to be doing, and it's just quite simply not good enough. And that's what we've seen. Saw it against Spurs, saw it again here. Manchester City just don't seem to have the answers, and they've got to find the answers soon, because if not, all of a sudden, it becomes very difficult in the Champions League. We lose on Tuesday night against Sporting. We've got to go to both Turin against Juventus and to Paris against PSG. Pick up results, maybe even pick up wins if we want to finish in the top 8. Because if we don't, we're moaning about the schedule now and how demanding it is, and playing every 3 to 4 days. Well, we're playing an extra 2 games in January in the Champions League. You've got the FA Cup still to come, and if we end up dipping into the Champions League playoff, we've got to play not an extra 2 games in the Champions League, it's an extra 4 games. And then the schedule becomes very, very demanding for Manchester City. And I'm getting the sense that things are going to get worse before they get better. We're dealing with damage limitations. We just need a nice pick-me-up. A 3 points on Tuesday night wouldn't go amiss. It would be the perfect way to go and respond and head into a match against Brighton. And what I really want to see from City, because I'm not too fussed about Wednesday night. I'm over Wednesday night and losing against Spurs. We don't need the League Cup. We don't want the League Cup. So I'm not that bothered about it. I am bothered about the Premier League. I am bothered about today's game. And I am bothered about this little molehill now spiralling out of control and becoming a potential mountain. We've got to navigate it. We don't win against Sporting, we don't win against Brighton, which very much could happen. And if we play like we did today, I'll tell you right now, that will happen if we play like we did today. Then all of a sudden, you end up with a little mini crisis. You end up potentially with Liverpool being 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League, with us still needing to go to Anfield, and we need to win when we come back after the international break against Spurs, and we need in the Champions League to go to places like Turin and Paris and pick up results against Juventus and against Paris Saint-Germain, respectively, as well. This becomes very, very, very difficult for Manchester City, on top of an injury crisis that we're having as well. We could do with players being back sooner rather than later. Don't know what's going on with the Kyle Walker situation. Seems to have lost a little bit of his pace, which to me, if I'm sitting here being ruthless about it, Kyle Walker has never been a top defender. He's a good defender. I don't think he's a top defender. His pace is what's made him better than everybody else. He starts to lose that pace. I think there's better options out there for a club like Manchester City. Not taking anything away from Kyle Walker. I think he's been, to me, the best right-back that I've ever seen at Manchester City. But you take the pace away, I think Man City have got to be ruthless about that and address that situation. If you don't do it in January, certainly do it in the summer. There's a reason why Man City don't want to rotate Rico Lewis, and I'm not entirely convinced with the lack of updates that we've had from Manchester City that Kyle Walker over the last 3 weeks has been injured since he came back from the international break. And there's a lack of clarity there, and it makes it very frustrating. Jeremy Doku weren't expected back until after the international break, was back today and looked pretty sharp when he came on. Savinho was expected to miss out in the game, told himself that he is fit. The doctors have obviously ruled that he is fit, that he's on the bench. And if you're on the bench, you're fit enough to start as far as I'm concerned. You know, we're lacking a bit of creativity. We were lacking in front of goal. We've got one of the best creative players the Premier League's ever seen in Kevin De Bruyne. If he's good enough to be on the bench, then he's good enough to be chucked on for 20 minutes to try and make a difference for City. Yet nowhere to be seen, wasn't warming up many times when all the other young players were warming up. And I don't understand. I really don't understand. If you're going to take the young players, give them their opportunity. If not, if you're going to run the risk on players, don't run the risk on some players and not others. It's baffling to me. And at the moment, I can't put my finger on it, but something's not quite right. I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know if it's just down to the injuries and squad management or the doctors or something's going on, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know about you guys. Something doesn't quite sit right at the moment. I don't know if something's happened, and obviously the rumours have been coming out, but it can't be a coincidence that rumours are coming out of a fallout or a potential player being suspended or someone spoken up against Pep Guardiola. You get no updates on these things happening, and then all of a sudden players just get chucked back into the squad when we need them most, and then we dish up a really bad performance like we had today. I don't know. I mean, John Stones, Ruben Dias, big misses for City today in defence. That defence looked stretched. It didn't look good enough. I don't think I want to see another Kyle Walker, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, Josko Gvardiol back four for City for this season. Many of the players look tired and lethargic. We're playing every 3 to 4 days. A lot of these players are going to be called up for international duty, and a lot of fans are upset right now and they're frustrated, and I think I feel all of the frustration. I want to feel optimistic. I need something to feel optimistic about, and the only thing I've got was that last 10 minutes from City was very, very, very good. That is what we needed to be doing for 90 minutes. We did that for 90 minutes today. If we had the energy to do that, we win this game. In fact, we need to be able to muster up being able to do that for a half. I think if Man City did that for, let's say, did it in the first half, it's good enough to go out and score 3 or 4 goals. Wraps a game up. You can take it easy for the second half, but I've just not seen Man City do that at any point this season where things have looked really comfortable and we're able to take our foot off the gas because what we've done is good enough. Today it weren't good enough. It was good enough to win against Wolves just about. It was good enough to get the job done against Southampton at home. Not good enough today. It won't be good enough on Tuesday night against a very good Sporting side, and it won't be good enough next Saturday against Brighton either. So the performances need to sharpen up and improve ASAP, because if they don't, this could be a real barren spell for City that could be very costly come the end of the season. So they've got to navigate it, and they've got to navigate it well, and they've got to do it quickly as well. High pressure stakes. Man City have been in these situations many times before, but we keep making hard work for ourselves. We're putting ourselves under a lot of pressure, and I said it last season, and I'm happy it didn't happen, but you just cannot keep relying on needing to win your last 10, 15 games of the season and go on these incredible runs to win Premier Leagues, to win big trophies. You cannot keep doing that. At some point, you're going to feel the effects of that. And with Man City, 4 in a row, trying to make it 5 in a row, it just gets more and more difficult with how thin the squad is, the injuries that we've got, the absentees that we've got as well. It becomes absolutely energy draining. I'm just watching the game as a supporter, doing the content creation, and even I'm drained. So I can't even imagine what it must be like trying to deal with the high expectations and the demands at the top of the Premier League from Pep Guardiola, from the very best. The players must be shattered. I don't really have an answer other than trying to manage the squad and going with young players. But I did say during my preview against Spurs in the AFL Cup, I wouldn't have blamed Man City if they went with the whole EDS team. I'd have said, you know what, anyone who's fit that's in the under 21s team, you're going to be playing and starting in this game. You've got to go with that as far as I'm concerned. So Very frustrating. I'd love to know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you're new around here, and do go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. I'll see you all again real soon. We'll no rest. I'll see you all ready for the build-up for the Sporting game on Tuesday, when we'll see if we've got more players available and we can muster up a better performance and see if we can get a good result in Portugal and use that as a nice pick-me-up, and we can all be more optimistic than where we are right now. Most importantly, I want to know your thoughts. What do you make of this game? Where do Man City go from here? What do we do? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again real soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.